Arsenal will not win the league because they don't have a proper number 9. You can't rely on Kai Havertz. That is why I see some other team in Manchester as jokers.
Which of them?
There are 2 teams there. The red team, they are joking.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to the Mallam podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in to us. Remember that you can subscribe to the platform. You can put on the notification bell. Then anytime we come to you, you get to hear it or see it first and enjoy the conversation.
Bing, bing, bing.
My name is Philip C. Chopet. No,
bing, bing, bing.
Delicate. If you're watching YouTube, though, like notification, subscribe notification. Guys, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. Coach returns to the pod. There is Felix. There is no Achu today, and there's Fenty in France covering the Olympic Games. Gentlemen, what's up?
Charlie.
Cool.
I miss coach.
We are all benefiting from the weather.
Yeah, bro.
As married men, it's good that that other boy is not here. Actually, is not here. Because I would have given to him. So I would have asked him, young man, how are you surviving? How are you coping? It's a problem. Because with this weather, no, media, no media. Charlie.
You know, I was asking on social media, like, of course, I've practically no knowledge about how the weather and everything works. Like, I know what it is. But on the climate change and all of that, I'm still very much new and reading into it. A lot has to be preserved to get it. So I was asking on social media that, global warming, right? My thinking was that the world is going to be warmer and warmer and warmer until we start doing the right things. But all of a sudden in this part of the world, and some other parts of the world have complained about it, the weather is different. It's so cozy and everything. I was asking what is happening with global warming. So Fent said, well, that when you talk about global warming, it's not only warming as in heat, but it also deals with extreme cold and extreme heat. So the weather we're experiencing now is not necessarily normal. So it's also part of maybe the climate change issue. So that was a good insight. So yeah, I mean, we keep learning, don't we?
Of course. In fact, I learned one new thing. I think on Twitter, somebody told me, actually our ACs at home even have heaters in them.
Yeah.
But me, nothing say, Charlie, if the heat comes,
I mean, you don't need you, so you don't know.
I mean, that's you. But you see, I'm enjoying it because, Charlie, 2 months ago, and the temperature was bad.
Yeah,
Charlie.
You go on AC self, then the sun.
If the open self give you guy not the future, that'd be the problem.
The heat alone.
You see,
They don't open for you. That's in the kill mood fast. Charlie, the kill mood. And
this one,
and it was during the time to the doom sort was there. So there was heat plus doom sort.
Easily worn out when there's so much heat.
I remember somebody tell you, say, make you not drink them. So make you enjoy them. Make you don't drink the weather.
Charlie. Let's enjoy it as it is. So we started something last week, right? We are looking at clubs and how they are shaping up to go into the next season. So we looked at Manchester United in our last week, one of our last week episodes. We discussed thoroughly Chelsea. We've also looked at the Manchester City. We touched a little bit on Arsenal, but we want to go into a lot more details on Arsenal on today's pod. We'll talk about Arsenal, then we'll talk about Real Madrid, we'll talk about Barcelona as well, because there's plenty of conversation to be had. We'll be talking about these teams and how they are prepping for the season ahead of the season's opener, which is what, in some 2 weeks away from now, just to gauge what teams do need, just to gauge what signings they could make, or if all the teams are set and how managers are going to be playing. So you're ready to join. We are happy to have you join the conversation. Drop your comments. Let us know what you think about all these teams that we'll be talking about. We started a conversation from Arsenal. Arsenal have added a new player, Riccardo Calafiori, who was one of the best Italian players at the Euros in a very bad Italian side.
Yeah.
Played very well last season at Bologna under Thiago Motta. And he's now sealed his deal. Arteta has sealed that deal with Arsenal have sealed that deal with Bologna. Have signed him, Riccardo Calafiori. Is joining a side. Who takes his fed? Who wants to look at how Arsenal are going to look like? And also we understand that Mikel Merino is on his way to be a Ghana. So Arsenal have been busy. Danny, want to start from it?
Yeah, my favorite second team.
I didn't see that coming. To be honest with you, no, I didn't see that coming. I never knew you could see a direct competitor as your favorite second team.
No. You see, to be frank, let me explain it. Growing up, Arsenal was Man United's direct rivals.
Of course.
And then over the years, it started falling off. So then it started becoming Chelsea. So for me, I always tell Chelsea fans, I mean, they are not my true rivals. I don't rate them. Then Man City came. Basically, Man U was always a standard. So I sort of felt bad seeing Arsenal fall off because you enjoy competition. As a football fan, I'm not even sure Real Madrid fans are happy with the state of Barca. You want
where Ruud van Nistelrooy had a last-minute penalty.
And they missed. That was the season Arsenal went and beat.
Yeah, that was last-minute penalty.
Hit the bar.
He missed it. The Arsenal players were all over him. Vieira screaming this year.
Yeah.
It was. Then the season started the next season, and Ruud van Nistelrooy
Scored a penalty to end it.
I mean, good old days. But you make a very good point. That just to veer off a little bit, Man United have had many rivals in the Premier League. Like there was a time there was Newcastle.
At the start, it was,
then there was Blackburn
for 1 or 2 seasons.
I think Blackburn started it.
Blackburn started
Newcastle.
Then there was Arsenal. In came Abramovich, Chelsea.
Yeah. Constantly since Liverpool have also been there.
Yes, as well Liverpool was there. Swan rivalry. Then City came along. And throughout all of these teams I've mentioned, so Blackburn, Newcastle, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, 5 rivals. Some way, somehow, Alex Ferguson managed to usurp all of them. Constantly. When you look at City, their biggest rivals have been what? Man United and then now
Liverpool.
What people say
Liverpool, Arsenal.
Liverpool.
Look,
Liverpool.
I would have loved.
It's hard.
What are you saying? I don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't know why we are trying to arrange a rivalry that I feel does not exist.
No, it's a rivalry. No, you see, the fact is, it's a rivalry.
Since when?
Since when
Can came to Liverpool?
You see,
Since when?
Liverpool, Man
City dominated it. Let's not. If you are doing a comparative thing, I think that's where you are taking it from. But if you are looking at what the two did during that period, Liverpool were always the ones finishing second to
Well,
Man
they
City.
always finish second.
almost always.
They finished second only twice.
Twice.
And then they won. Yes, and they won the COVID trophy.
In the years they lost by 1 point, they finished second twice.
Then they won once.
They finished outside the top 4 twice. And they finished third.
No, we are not talking about club's entire time. We're talking about periods.
Yeah.
Okay. So when
No. So let's define when the actual rivalry started.
City
for
and
Man
Liverpool.
City,
Yeah.
when Man City started winning the league, it was Chelsea and United who were their rivals.
Yes.
Then Chelsea fell off and Chelsea came back and
Yeah.
won the league in
was
between
Antonio
Conte.
Mourinho in between
Okay, Mourinho, yeah.
Mancini and then Pellegrini.
That's right.
Then Pellegrini wins. Then he leaves the following season. That's when Leicester won.
Yeah.
Then Pep and Mourinho and then Klopp came. When Pep came, the direct rivals at the time was Chelsea and then Man United.
Yeah.
But the Man United, the decline has started. Chelsea won, but unfortunately for Chelsea too, they were not able to sustain it.
Yeah.
So the early years of Pep, he didn't really have a direct rival. So when he won the 100 points, it was Mourinho, but it wasn't really a rivalry because they won it by far. Then the following season, he won it again quite easily. It was his 3rd season where he did one against Mourinho. When he was winning it the 2nd time, that's when Liverpool pushed him all the way. Then Liverpool won it the following season.
Yes.
Then it started looking like a rivalry.
I like that.
Then it started looking like a rivalry. Then Liverpool fell off the season after in terms of their title defense. Didn't do too well. Then they came back and finished a point behind. So then you can look at that 4-year period and see Liverpool pushed them 3 out of 4. So that's
But Danny, would you want to use a 4-year period to define rivalry?
Yeah, but it can be. Otherwise,
and
Newcastle
also-
and Blackburn then were not rivals to Man United.
exactly. And
It
also, if you
depends
look
on-
at the head-to-head between Klopp and they always gave a matchup. It wasn't just about Premier League, okay?
Yeah.
It was about Pep versus Klopp. And that rivalry started from their time in
I feel like that's
in
another,
gym.
a whole new podcast.
Yeah,
for
so
another day.
it's
a whole new topic for another podcast.
I understand why people will call it a rivalry, but when you want to do comparative and you are comparing to the likes
Total
of
dominance.
that one.
Let's get back to Arsenal now. Arsenal now
Yeah.
are the rivals or the biggest rivals to City going into the season. They've done some business. They already have a very settled team now under Mikel Arteta. What have they done? What is it looking like?
Look, what the business Arsenal is doing, in fact, it just highlights something I've been seeing over the years. The standard of the Premier League you have to be perfect to win the Premier League. And in order to be perfect to win the Premier League, you need every aspect of your team, goalkeeping, defense, midfield to be perfect. The slightest imperfection will make you lose the league. And Arsenal have analyzed what they missed out on last season, both the ingredients they were missing in the league and then in the Champions League. And they've gone out and they've done the business. Look, in terms of options, there was no second choice to Gabriel. I think Kivior was bought for that. But it didn't end up working because when Kylian came into the team, there was also trouble on the left back side with Zinchenko. And then he needed to compete. Of course, both players are not like elites at that position. Gabriel himself didn't have any competition last season. He had a really good season. But going into a season where you're going to battle it out against Manchester City again, you need options. And then Calafiori has come in. Now, Calafiori is not just a left-sided centre-back. He can play left-back. He can play DM at times. So he's versatile. And the word options again comes in. So Arteta can go for a Saliba, Calafiori, can go for Kivior, he can go for Saliba, Gabriel, he can go for Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, who played at left back. There are so many things he can do with the team. Another thing that I'm sure obviously Arsenal fans will notice it, but rival fans wouldn't necessarily notice is Timber. He's coming back. He missed first game of last season. He got injured. Was injured throughout the whole of last season. Now he's coming in. He was, for me, the best. I thought he was going to be the best signing of last season because he's one of my best players. When I was watching that Ten Hag Ajax team, one of my best players in that system. Excellent right back, excellent centre back, excellent defensive midfielder. His ball carrying is brilliant, and he's coming into this Arsenal team as a new signing. So now, on paper, Arsenal could have Ben White at right back, Timber, Calafiori, and then Zinchenko or Kivior. And that's back line on paper is good enough to win you a league title. They are that good.
Probably better than a lot of teams. First team.
A lot. Better than, in fact, I can say about 18 or 19.
That's a wild
It's
quality.
solid. Because the fact is, those two will walk into any team. Both Calafiori and Timber walk into any team. Saliba, Gabriel walk into any team. Then you go into the midfield also. Last season, the first half of last season, he tried that experiment with Havertz, which didn't work. And then he had to draft in Zinchenko alongside Declan Rice. And then later, at the end of the season, Partey came in to take Jorginho's place. This time around, Merino is coming in, and that gives you another midfield option. Fabio Vieira hasn't worked out too well. And it's not about emotions. They bought you.
He's leaving. He's leaving. He's left for Fulham. He's leaving for Fulham.
It didn't work out for Smith Rowe. He's gone. Fabio Vieira came and it didn't work out. You can't give him another season and hope. So you're bringing in a European Championship winner, somebody who was a starter in the Spanish national team only up until the start of the Euros. So that is another option in midfield. And again, the principles of the player suits the principles of the team and the manager. So it's not about fixing the first 11. It's about imagining how he will fit into the system, which looks like almost a seamless fit because he's a very good controller of the ball. His late runs into the box are brilliant. He can pass the ball, has good passing range. He's not afraid to be pressed. He's almost press resistant. These are the sort of players that...
He's a physical player. And
for a Spanish player, he's
actually going to be bumping into the ball. I mean, again, we saw him against Germany. And even before that goal, we saw him a lot of times breaking into the box as a late runner. So, I mean, it's a lovely
and that's also very important. You look at him and you look at some of the attributes that Declan Rice has, especially when he was playing with West Ham. Sort of similar. Those box-to-box type of players running into the box with their strength. He has a good shooting ability. He can enter the box.
Who is he a direct competitor for? Would Rice have to worry about something?
Again, I talk about options. Arteta can use Rice as a 6, use Merino as a 8. Arteta can use Merino as a 6, use Rice as a 8. Arteta can use Partey as... There are so many things. In fact, all the midfield options he has right now can do the various jobs in midfield and can do it. It's almost like they have a weapon for almost every opposition that they'll face. And again, we saw Arsenal play different styles and adapt their styles during the course of the season. You look at the one that pops into mind is the game at the Etihad, where they were almost defensive, but were in controlling defensively. They were not sitting back, parking their backs. When they had the ball, yes, they could pick passes, cut Man City apart. It's just the final scenarios that they didn't take. But it is always important to have players who you can call upon for various scenarios that may pop up throughout the season. So for me, I think these are really good and sensible buys. I think another one should be done in attack. If I was Arsenal, I'll be looking for a number 9 or we said it off air. I don't know why Arsenal are not pushing for somebody like Nico Williams. I feel if Arsenal buy Nico Williams, the deal is done and dusted. They've won. Because to have Nico Williams and Saka, you see what Saka does on the left-hand side, stretching the play. Nico Williams doing the same thing on the other side. Look, it will be absolutely brilliant. But again, per what we saw last season, I think Arsenal need a purer finisher. Havertz is a very good link-up player. He brings the best out of some of these attacking players. But again, there are times in the game where you just need somebody who can just score.
Yeah.
And I think Arsenal
Somebody
lack
can
that
just-
here. If Nketiah is going,
Yeah,
and it looks
Nketiah-
like
Nketiah is
Arsenal
gonna go
should get a
to
pure finisher.
Olympique Marseille. Olympique Marseille also doing some incredible business. Already Greenwood has joined them.
Yeah.
They're looking at getting Eddie Nketiah. They've already brought one of the best managers in Europe, in my opinion, in Roberto Di Zerbi. But let me come to you about Arsenal. Like, we've seen the players that they've bought. But when you look at the squad as it is, last season they fell short. They couldn't beat Man City. Have they just taken their level to another level where you feel like this Arsenal team could be it? Or which department do you think is lacking? What do they need to do?
Well, Sito, I think that City for some years now have been the standard. And if you want to win the English Premier League, you need to finish above City. And for Arteta, I think that he has a bit of advantage because he's directly worked with Pep, work at City. So he has the mentality similar to what Pep has. And then also he knows what it takes to bring in players at City. So if you look at the profile of players that are coming to Arsenal, these are players that are very interchangeable. When I talk about interchangeable, players that can play different roles.
Yeah, they're versatile. They're incredibly versatile.
And when you bring in players of that quality, you even confuse your opponent before the game kicks off. So you have somebody like Califlo, which position is Arteta going to use him? And you look at the availability of players that they have. They can even play three at the back. Play Gabriel, Saliba, and even play White as a three back. Have Califlo there, then Rice, and then probably Martinelli, Saka on the wings, and then go with Kai Havertz up front. So now they have a lot of, and I didn't even mention the rest. So that guy, coming in, very good. You look at his ball retention; he's very progressive with the ball as well. And one thing we forgot to talk about is his height.
Yeah.
Defensively, you might need his height, and even offensively. And then also, I think
that's a good point now. Arsenal have got a big team.
Yes.
Like
With
in
height.
terms of physicality,
Yes.
Gabriel is no slouch. Like Saliba is huge.
Califari
Ben White
is there.
Califari is
Thomas
big.
Partey.
Thomas Partey
Partey is
is
tall.
got that. Kai
Havertz is tall.
is a big lad. You know.
So defensively, it looks very, very good for them. And I think that I believe where they need to strengthen, they need to get an extra goalkeeper, Ramsdale. They need to make sure that they have a very good goalkeeper who can come in.
You don't trust Ramsdale.
Yeah.
No, but
he's not that good. It's Raya.
Yeah,
No,
Raya is number
I say
one.
he needs
Yeah.
another goalkeeper. So
Yes.
in place of Ramsdale.
and because I believe that he will leave.
He has to.
I believe that he will
But
leave.
even if he's not leaving, this is my thinking. Raya and Ramsdale are two very different goalkeepers. Now, if they play Ramsdale, the defense seem to play differently to when they play Raya. I think they need two keepers of similar skill set,
Yes.
so that it's uniform. But when they play Ramsdale, I feel it's not.
They are
It
free.
doesn't sync. Yeah.
So that's the area I think they need to. And if you look at Arteta, he's one coach who believes in things that Pep does. So he feels that sometimes he can even play with the false number 9. But I think that a time will come, goals from Havertz will dry up. He won't be consistent with goal scoring. You need a target man. You need a typical number 9 up front just to help in different variations that you really
who would
want
be
to.
an ideal on the market now? When you look at the market, would be an ideal. So, Oli Watkins for Arsenal,
Or
Movements
maybe
across
Ivan Toney.
Ivan Toney?
Ivan Toney for me.
Yeah.
Because I would love, if Arsenal is looking out for a target man, I want them to bring somebody who is in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Because if you have a player that is
So
coming in,
between Tony and then Watkins, you go for.
I think that for Watkins, they have a lot of players that can play the Watkins role.
Yeah.
So the best for me should be somebody like
Ivan Toney,
Ivan
proper
Toney,
target man,
a
physical.
proper target man. And Havertz can play on the shoulder off. Ivan Toney. Or probably they might even go with a 3 offensive, midfielders behind, Watkins. And that for me will really, really help. You look at Arsenal defensively, because sometimes when you need to win the league, defensively you have to be very solid. And per what they've done the last 2 seasons, Arsenal don't have a problem defensively. Because last season they were one of the best, if not the best defensive
the best,
side
yeah.
in the league. So it is up front where that is where they really need to beef up. I think in all this, I'm a bit worried for somebody like Thomas Partey. Because I look at the players that are coming in and the options now available for him.
You've not even mentioned Jorginho, have we, in any of the conversation? He's still there.
But I think that he's somebody that Arteta will really love. Because you need somebody like him to dictate the game for you. Partey, why I think his time at Arsenal is coming to an end is the fact that he has one more season to go.
Yeah.
And then Partey is not a player you can rely on to give you at least
Injury
25
records
games
are not great.
within the season. I don't know how this thing started because at Atletico Madrid, your man was playing games and he looks very fit. But
So injured twice.
twice
Two
during the
times.
entire time at Madrid. And I don't know what changed when your man came to England and then. But I'm sure
No, say it.
coach knows the reason.
You don't want me to go there. You don't want me to go there. I beg you.
So I think that
You are thinking the same thing.
probably I can't say it.
Thomas was box.
Thomas was boxing, but I think that his position in that team is surely under threat. If there is Saudi money, if they come with some oil money, and you mean now there is family.
You should go
It's
ahead.
a bigger family now. He should go. But
Yeah.
I think that he won't be a player that Arteta will rely on most within the season. But trust me, in all this, Arsenal themselves have to worry about Arteta. Because if you're talking about transfer, he also has 1 year left on his contract. And you can't be bringing in all these players
That's a really good point.
without also
Committing him to a long-term
Yes,
project
because
thing.
trust me.
I don't think Arteta will leave.
No, but you know what if Pep say, you know what? I'm in my last season.
So Arteta will leave Arsenal and go to City.
But anything can change in football.
No, I don't.
No,
That's
I'm
not
not saying.
true.
Anything can
but
change
that
in
one-
football.
Real Madrid
What if?
can come for
Yes,
him, Bayern can
Bayern
come for him, Barca
can.
can
Real
come
Madrid
for him.
can.
I don't think
England
Arteta
job
will
is
leave
still there.
Arsenal. I don't think if Arteta will leave Arsenal if he doesn't
any
get
English team.
if he
It's not
doesn't get
the Barcelona
that
job.
No, not the Barcelona
The
job.
league title.
The league title.
It is not something you can depend. You can rely on.
No, the reason why I'm saying, you remember his speech at the end of the season,
Yeah.
last season, the way he spoke, you can tell like, you guys have given me a chance when nobody was willing to give me the chance,
Yeah.
and until he repays them, if they are sacking him, fine, but he's not going to voluntarily leave the club if he hasn't won them that
But
league
Danny,
title.
were you not surprised when Klopp said, "I've had enough. I'm leaving"?
That's what club. Your man has been beating him to.
No, really,
Manchester.
you are sure,
That's what I'm
sir.
saying. So if a time might come, Arteta will say, "You know what? I've tried this."
No, but
I've
see,
come
no,
close
Klopp, he
and
did
all
his
that.
job. For me, I think Klopp did his
Yo,
job.
club won everything there was to
Yeah,
win.
Arteta
at the club
hasn't
level.
yet.
But what I'm saying is, Arsenal
Yeah.
also really need to.
But they need
make
to
sure-
commit
tie him down. That's true. That's what I
because
wanna agree.
that even affects players who want
Of
to come
course,
in.
because if the coach hasn't commit, what will my future be? But I think that for all, I think we have to give Arteta credit. I'm expecting him, just like he did last season, to push City to the title.
Right.
For me, I think that there will be City and Arsenal in the title conversation because of what Arteta is doing. And he doesn't even have a bigger squad. And that I'm sure that is the reason why he's buying players that can give him different options or variations when it comes to the way Arsenal want to play. But I think that so far he's done quite well. I don't wish him well because I'm a Chelsea fan. I don't want Arsenal to win the league.
Let me bring coach in. Coach, so when you look at, I mean, it's a conversation that's even coming up on social media. When you look at Arsenal's, especially the back line now, there is no proper natural left back. There is no proper natural right back as we've become accustomed to. When I say proper natural, what we are used to, the traditional, right back, left back, there's none of that. Ben White, centre back, who's adapted to the rule brilliantly. There's now Calafio's team, but there's Kivio, who are going to be, and Zinchenko, who's virtually a midfielder playing there, who are going to be vying for that. City, from last 2 seasons or last season, have used something similar. They used Ake left back, they used Akanji or Stones, and now Vadio.
Arteta now has, when Bernardo Silva has even
played
as
Pep Guardiola is something else. But that is what Arteta is looking at now. I mean, you were a coach. I want to look at why that has become somewhat of a trend for some clubs, and we've seen even with Chelsea, there's Chilwell, but Levi Colwill, who's a centre back, would play there now on the left hand side. You are a coach. You see the tactics. You see what it gives and what the problems with it is. Why is that become a thing?
Okay, I think the disadvantage outweighs the advantage. When you go for centre backs as laterals, it's never the same. That is why, in the case of Pep Guardiola, we've seen Ake as left back.
Yeah.
In the attacking sense, it virtually contributes nothing to the team.
Very little,
It's only when Walker who is a natural fullback, who does that. It took Guardiola the whole season to adapt. And then I think he scored some two brilliant goals, one in the Champions League. But that was 1 in a million. It will not happen regularly.
But he keeps winning.
No, but he keeps winning not because those fullbacks those centre backs turn as full backs are giving him the necessary width or stretching the game like we normally are experiencing in a modern game. So there's a disadvantage with that. If you ask me, for me, when it comes to defending, I prefer the specialist in the position. I prefer a natural fullback to be playing as a lateral fullback. I don't want to bring a centre back to ask him to, because you see, when centre backs drift out wide, they always look uncomfortable. He's always been there. Look at Ake. He's always looked uncomfortable.
When do I go? When do I
go? That is why if they come up against proper wingers, they tend to struggle. They tend to struggle big time. So that's why Pep will always want to have a Kawaka when they are going to play Arsenal, because there's a Martinelli who will take on. We saw what Martinelli did to Akanji. Okay? We saw it. We saw how Saka dealt with what?
Vadio?
Ake.
Ake on that side.
So there's a huge disadvantage with that. It happens to work because Man City tend to enjoy a chunk of the possession. So these guys are not exposed
and
like
Arsenal as well.
So maybe Arteta looks at his team and see that, look, with a sort of possession, we will control most of the game. We will take charge of that object 70% of our game. So he can afford to do that. But I don't think it is something that has profited them in the attacking sense. How many assists have Ben White provided for Arsenal? I think he's their weakest link going forward. Defensively, he's doing his job. But again, when he comes up against proper wingers, we see how he struggles.
Now let's look at it. Let's look at the players that they've brought in and how it's. Of course, Danny and Felix have mentioned that Arsenal need a striker. Is that after everything they've done? Speaking about Mourinho, speaking about Calafiori, and the team that they have, Thomas Partey, Jorginho. After all the business they've done, is it that one position that they need to fix?
You see,
to make them, if you like, get them closer to Man City or maybe get them to pass them?
One thing that would never change, or that will be very difficult to establish as a trend, is the fact that to win this league, you need a 20 plus goals striker in there. We've had so many shows together, and I've always said that Arsenal will not win the league because they don't have a proper number 9. You can't rely on Kai Havertz. So I agree perfectly with what my good friends have said, that you can do everything possible. Bring in everything you have to bring in.
So you're saying after all they've done, it's still not enough?
They need to go and buy a number 9, especially with the possible exit of Nketiah. So what then happens? Because Nketiah throughout the season was the direct replacement for Kai Havertz when he's coming on to replace a striker, or when Arteta is hoping of throwing more. Because there were games where they were very tight and they need, because of how deep the opponents were, they needed to go too top.
What happens to Gabriel Jesus there?
You see, he's not a number 9.
No, but it's like, even last season, when Martinelli got injured, Gabriel Jesus was playing on the wing. Trossard was playing as the false 9.
So he's never looked a proper number 9.
Some of his best performances in his career has come when he's played out wide. With City and even with Brazil.
Even with City, did he even get to 20 goals?
He never did. So you see, I understand what Arteta seems to be doing. It's about creating proper depth. With the current fixtures of how football is being played now, more games have been added.
Not just domestic.
Not domestic, international team, and then continentally, their Champions League. More games have been brought on board. So one thing that is for sure is that players, you cannot rely on one group or one set.
Yeah.
You need to refreshen your team. If you want to go the distance, you need to refreshen your team. And in refreshing your team, you don't want to do so at the expense of the quality. You want to do so where if I'm not there and you are the one coming in there, the standard still remains the way it is. That is why I see some other team in Manchester as jokers.
Which of them?
There are two teams there. The red team, they are joking. Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Blanc and Barada, they are joking. They are not serious people. Because it is clear that your team was 8th in the league. One injury to your only proper centre back, you are dead. You understand? So one would have thought
you'd have been more aggressive in the
by
market.
now. New owners, you've come. New owners.
Show something.
You don't have money. They are broke.
Let's go back to Arsenal.
I'll go back. You take your time because it is punching you. Take your time.
It's not punching me.
I'm linking.
All right, please go.
They are broke. They don't have money. Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Enye Shelley po enye ebeche. Ebe kudi po ebe. Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Ebeche. How can you take up such a team? Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Tomine, Jadon Sancho, Eriksen. Look, at least 7 players should be sold. That is after the Varane, Martial, they left because their contract has ended. United, if they don't sell, and look, minimum 6 players should be brought in to give them any chance of playing top 4. You cannot buy Zegzi, Euro, and you think that, oh, Charlie. Euro. He's a small boy.
And it's actually injured. He's going to be missing the first 3 months of the season.
First 2-3 months, he's out.
Yeah.
If you look at what your rivals are doing, United, they are not ready to compete. At all. They're not ready to compete. Because look, you can have 12, 13 good players. And I'll list them for you. Onana, Dalot, Luke Shaw, Martinez. Right now, I've never rated Maguire and Lindelof. I've never rated them.
You have?
No.
Ball play Maguire.
No, that one he came. I had not assessed his foot size at the time. The moment I realized that he was size 50, I said, this guy, he cannot play football properly. Oh, don't laugh. Don't laugh. His boot size 50 is size 50. I said, and since that day,
You've disowned him.
I've disowned him. Zuku Denchen.
Do you think he has a bigger size than Lukaku?
I'm concerned about Maguire. Forget about I'm concerned about Maguire. So, after Martinez, who partners Martinez?
Euro
is injured.
Evans is sustaining his contract.
He's an old waddy. He's been brought in there to make sure there's discipline in that dressing room. That's the fundamental reason why Evans is in that team.
A leader, a calm leader.
Yes. So Onana, Dalot, Shaw, Martinez, Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Menu, to some extent,
Casemiro, no? If he's fit.
No more Egbena. He's finished. He should be playing either in Italy. He will go to Italy. He will be one of the best midfielders in Italy because of the intensity of the game there. The Casemiro in the EPL, he's finished. You cannot rely on him. He's finished. Then maybe Guy Nacho. Then maybe the
Mason Mount.
Mason Mount, yes. So like I'm saying, Ahmad, 13 good players. 13. Maximum 14. You're going to use that to compete? And Barada, Blanc, Ashford, they've carrying big names. These are very good people, knowledgeable. Go and buy the players and make the team competitive. You are joking. It's about money. United don't have money. Granting, you're United. You're United. They don't have money. Zuku. They don't have money.
Coach,
Look
back
to Arsenal.
Back to Arsenal.
I
Yeah.
needed to put that in
Very well
so that
done.
people
That was
understand.
very smooth.
Yes.
That was very, very smooth.
No more pabo.
That was a clean chip
You
in.
understand?
Yeah.
Now, when you come to look at what Arteta is doing. He knows that to beat Pep Guardiola, he needs depth.
Or be like Pep?
Not to be like him. He needs to beat him. This is the 3rd time of action. This is Arteta 6th season.
It's going into his 6th season, yeah.
If he doesn't win this league, they should sack him.
Oh.
I'm telling you honestly.
No. Are you saying Arteta goes into the season as favorite?
He's battled the league twice already. It cannot happen for the 3rd time. Or you want it? Look, all the Arsenal's faithful listening to me and watching this program, all of them. Do you agree that Arteta should battle the league another season? If they agree, then ask for them perennial failures. That's what they are.
Look, I think there's something Mikel Arteta, with the signings that he's made, there's something that he's going to do to the Arsenal team, right? I think, and we mentioned it, you mentioned about that. Anytime that in cup games, that he tried to rest some of his more thirstiness.
He pays the price.
Now, with the quality of players he's brought in, it's like Man City.
No excuse.
City can decide to rest on play, but when you look at the team that is starting,
Arteta will not use the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup as an escape for not winning.
But you have to start winning something. And start winning from there.
He's won
2 trophies.
The FA Cup already.
Yeah, that was in his first 6 months.
That is really why he cannot go back to that as the standard.
So coach, I saying that if Arsenal should win the Carabao Cup and win the FA Cup, you still say Arteta has failed
because he hasn't won the league.
Because he hasn't won the league.
Let me tell you something.
Tell me.
If Eric Ten Hag wins the FA Cup, he sees that as a success. My United supporters, they see it as a success because in 6 years, they've not done anything. In the past, since Alex Ferguson left, they've not done anything. Arteta has come very close. In fact, he had the league in his hands. So, granting, we were all here, we saw it. And the point I'm making is that he's been backed, Papa.
Oh, yes.
Edu has done quite
since he came into the team, every player he said, I don't
want. The only player I didn't get was Modric.
No, but
that's the player he wanted and didn't.
Not because they didn't want to pay the money. It's the player who opted for
Chelsea. Agency.
Yes, but aside that, every target he had.
So the point I'm making is this: if you've been backed in this manner, this is Arteta's team. Me, you support United. You cannot say this is Ten Hag's team. Can you say that?
But why are you sneaking?
No, I needed to because if I don't, it is. I'm trying to establish a point. Oh, Charlie, I'm trying to establish a point.
Oh my God!
Ten Hag,
Coach, you missed the Man United episode. Let United sleep.
I'm talking about Arsenal.
But you mentioned
listen. No, it's not true.
You missed the Man United episode.
It's not true.
Go on, you're talking about Arteta.
I'm explaining why Arteta.
It's Man United the only team we can use as a yardstick.
For a team that was there and it's there, yeah, okay.
But coach, there are teams that finish about United. You can use them in your analysis.
You let me say, they don't use Chelsea.
The level will be different.
Don't use Aston Villa.
No, don't do that.
Okay, you fire.
So the point I'm making is that Arteta will have to win this league. Me, I want him to win it.
You win.
Because you cannot have this quality at hand and not win it.
Arsenal team looks very good to me.
And not win it.
Yeah.
So I agree perfectly with everything. Is that you need a solid defense to win the league. Last season, they were the best team in the league defensively.
Yeah.
Nobody came. I think they considered only 19, 20 something goals.
Yeah.
There was a time they could keep like 16, 17, 18 clean sheet like that continuously. You understand what I'm saying? So that department has been made even stronger. Felix talks about Thomas Partey. Mm-hmm. Look, Partey's biggest problem is his fitness.
Yeah.
And like we said, he's been fit.
Look, if he stays fit
to him.
Namoji Moreno Rice, if Partey can stay fit, you understand what I'm saying?
Coach,
that I cannot say it. No, no more. He's been. Do you know Partey is married now?
Yes.
Yeah, Partey is
married. He should eat his wife food. Should not be eating wache here, Zafi there. It's not good for him.
So he has to watch his diet.
He needs to watch his diet.
Totally agree.
He needs to sleep early.
It's from home.
Yeah.
He should just pick the phone and call the Buffalo Michael Essien. And Essien will teach him how to sleep well and come on the pitch and be the best player. Because now there's Moreno, there's Declan Rice, there's Jorginho, even
Fiore.
There's that boy from Italy.
Yeah.
Timber, Calafiori, all of them can do a job.
Everybody can do a decent job.
And so just to cut you, there been moment last season when there was no Partey and Arsenal was still winning.
That's it.
Oh, a lot. No,
so look, the team has moved on. Arsenal has moved on from Partey. If he's not going to stay fit, he should be there.
But they don't depend on him
any longer. So the Moreno boy, he's a fantastic player. He will make them even stronger. the Italian Calafiori,
Yeah.
he's going to make them even more solid. And like we've all said, he's going to allow Arteta the flexibility to refreshen his team as and when there's the need to do
who's
so.
surface? Which defender surface? Is Calafiori going to walk into the team? And if he is, who surface?
I think
Gabriel.
he walks in
left back?
straight as a left back.
Okay.
I think Zinchenko and Kylian,
Yeah.
they will have to go and sit down.
And so, coach, one thing about him, I think that with coaches now wanting to play players or left back or right backs that are inventing,
Yeah.
he has a special
He has a
quality.
quality. I mean, we
The way
saw him in the
he progressed
Euros.
ball.
Look,
and this is a player that you would always want to help. if
exactly.
it comes to
Italy were
invent.
exiting the tournament,
Yeah.
but for him, they would have left at the group stage. You saw that
assist.
that progressive ball that he gave to against Croatia.
Yeah, Zakani, he's the one who played the one.
Absolutely brilliant. So that is the sort of player they've gone for.
Look, I like Calafiori when he steps up from centre back into the midfield and is running vertical.
But
I'm not sure about his diagonal. Not passes. His diagonal movement. Playing as an inverted fullback is a different kettle of fish.
I've not
from a
watched him.
centre back who is Yeah,
At Bologna, I've not watched him that much.
yeah. No, in Bologna, stepping up from centre back,
Was his
he
speciality.
was just like he did for Italy in
That's
the
right.
game,
That's right.
But when he has to play like Zinchenko,
Is he?
and I think
He
maybe
could
at the
do
time I know
that.
you see him like that because
He
Kylian
could
wasn't
do
necessarily
that.
doing it.
He could do that in a slower league. But in the league that we all
There's
agree,
so much pressure,
but there's so much
aggression,
intensity, aggression, and then he may need some time to
We'll see
adjust.
how he flourishes. So
So the best he can do is when I think if he trains with them, he's going to train with them till I think for the next 2 to 3 weeks.
yes. He's going to settle in time. So
I think he will have to start at left
In
back
fact, the
Right.
league starts
on the
in 2
15th.
weeks.
In 2 weeks' time.
in 2 weeks we start.
So look, Arteta, they are in fact my team to win the league.
Let us know your team to win the league. Drop your team to win the league in the comments. We've done all the Premier League teams who are now looking favorites. Speaking about City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool as
Did you
well.
say United
Yes.
are
big
favorite?
teams? Big teams. I'm talking about big
No,
teams.
but
in
the
league.
way Sir Jim Ratcliffe and co are behaving, what is big about that team?
All right, no, we're speaking about the
What is big about that team?
the traditional big
You are
English
not,
teams.
no. Ratcliffe.
Man United don't be traditional big team
You
again.
bought only 2 players. You want
that
your
don't
name
mean they're not traditionally a big team in England. Does that mean they're not traditionally a big team in
Is that
England?
what we are chopping now?
No, I'm asking.
People are winning league titles. Oh.
Who are the people? Only one team is
Only one
winning.
team is winning, say people.
Who are the people?
United used to be that one team.
Hey, but at the moment, only one team is winning. It's not like Liverpool
Is it?
and
But
other
Why are
teams.
you
are-
so bothered? I don't understand. Why are you so bothered?
You know, I'm so bothered because of people like you.
No, you shouldn't be bothered.
Because you are worried.
No, we are not worried. We are not worried. We're okay.
You
Yeah,
seem
you
to be
used
the
to
one that is
suffer.
worried.
No, you see?
Because when you were given the opportunity to talk about
Is it?
Arsenal,
Arsenal, you are
you
talking
spent this
about-
talking
No.
United.
I did some proper
Analysis.
analysis between the two teams. So, at the end of the day, Cranton,
I'm not worried.
Sicho.
I'm not
I'm
worried.
very confident.
Phyllis, this league is always a better league when United is among the teams competing. Tell me what I'm saying is
That is from a Man United fans' viewpoint.
No. You see, even the against supporters union of United, they love the league when United is competing.
Let's move away from the Premier League. Let's go into Spain. Let's talk about the 2 big teams in Spain now because let's start off with FC Barcelona. FC Barcelona, throughout the whole summer, have been linked with the smaller Williams, which is Nico. He had an incredible Euros. And if there were any doubts about his talent and ability, the Euros would have settled that he's pure, he's true, and he is top quality. So the rumors grew even stronger post-Euros, largely because we saw his friendship and his bromance with Barca's prodigy Lamine Yamal. So the conversation was, make it happen. Put those 2 guys in the same shirt in Catalonia next season. So Barca have led around this Nico Williams throughout. What we are hearing now is the young man is going to stay put at Bilbao. I mean, the family wants him to stay there. Okay, so conversations are plenty. Barca can do 2 deals of a package around the same figures. And also the player is being said, the family and maybe the team of Bilbao want him to stay 1 more season. So the first thing is, Barca have already sent a bid for Dani Olmo, which is in the region of 15 million, somewhere around 50 to 60 million euros. And the total package is going to be somewhere around, if you like, 67 million, including wages and some of the things that they'll pay. Now, the Nico Williams deal would have been more expensive than that if they were paying close to also 60 million euros. But the other package around the deal would have meant that the deal was going to be more expensive than that. The rumor is that Barca can't do those two deals. And the easier deal to do is the Olmo deal, which they are almost going to get through. So, Barca haven't made signings this summer. Hansi Flick has come through, but he's still left with a team that Xavi used almost the entirety of last season. There's still Robert Lewandowski, Ike Gundogan, Gavi and Pedri. We know their injury records. There's Kubasi, who's been brilliant. Araujo has gone to have his surgery. Joao Cancelo has returned to Man City. Barca can't pay the 25 million City are demanding for Joao Cancelo. Joao Felix has also returned to Atletico Madrid. Barca can't pay the over 70 million Atletico Madrid are demanding. So Rafinha stays put. But Balde is back fit again and he's running. Now, this is the Barca team we are looking at. They've got some incredible young talents. We've seen them in this preseason. But they're going to be competing against Real Madrid. We'll talk about who we talk about. But then let's start off with Barcelona. Hansi Flick has come through. Thiago Alcantara has joined. I think those are the two most exciting deals that has happened for Barcelona so far in this market. Where are they now?
The Barca issue is sad.
Oh yeah.
No, it's sad for football because in as much as Barca is not my favorite team in Spain, they're not my favorite football club. But again, you want rivals to do well, so when you beat them, it's nicer. Yeah, that's my thinking. That's how I live my life. So to see Barca in this state, and the state where consecutively for about 3 seasons they've been relying on children. So about 2-3 seasons ago, it was Ansu Fati everybody was talking about. Then it was Pedri. Then it became Gavi for a period. Then now it's Lamine Yamal. And almost all those kids have had serious injuries at the point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that is science. It is not magic. It's not juju. It is science. There's a way you ease young players into intensive, high-level football.
They're putting their bodies through so much. Yeah.
And because of the lack of funds in the team, because of the lack of muscle, financial muscle to bring in players who can compete, they are relying on these kids who are genuinely really talented. And these kids have to play almost every game because if they don't play, there's a drop in quality. And that's why I say it's sad, because if this was the Barca of old, Lamine Yamal would have been coming on from the bench, would have been playing.
Probably been loaned out.
Not even loan. Barca don't really do that with their top talent.
Right, yeah.
But would have had proper competition on that side. It wouldn't have been a given.
Like
a proper plan for him. Exactly like they did for Messi. Like Pedri. Pedri wouldn't have had to start almost every game for Barca. Gavi wouldn't have had to start almost every game for Barca. They would have had quality all around where they could probably ease these boys. And probably by this time, Pedri will be emerging as one of the best. And when he steps on the pitch, you see that he's one of the best. Menu is probably the best controller midfielder in Man United. But I can bet he will not start every game next season. No. That is it. He won't start. And that's just how to ease the young players into it. So it's sad that their financial troubles has taken them into where they find themselves now. And it's like, as Barca is going down, Madrid is increasing the standard. And Barcelona is Barcelona. They have to compete to Madrid. The fans don't care whether you have to compete.
Is that the problem though? Is it the fact that, as you mentioned, because they need to desperately compete with Real Madrid, the owners, not the owners, the hierarchy, the presidents and everybody, is avoiding the truth, which Xavi spoke about, that they don't have money to compete now.
Look,
and then they're overdoing things.
Another thing that we also need to understand, okay, apart from the Premier League, when you look at La Liga, when you look at Serie A, let me look at La Liga in Serie A. Your money comes from performances.
Yeah.
They are performance-based. So if it's not like Man U who can finish 8th and still make record profit because of the TV deals, because of sponsorships and things. The Premier League is generating a lot of money. So you don't necessarily need to win. Like, people are not winning the Premier League because of the price tag or the prize money. You are winning it for pride. It's almost like that because as I'm repeating it again, Man can finish 8th and still push record.
I mean, teams that are getting relegated are making over 200 million.
More than the winner of the Bundesliga.
Just on TV deals.
But it's not like that. It's not like that in Spain. These things are performance based. So if Barca is going to play in Europa after dropping out of the Champions League group stage, it takes a huge toll on their finances.
Exactly.
So it is very important. It's not about the fans. Even those managing the team know that at all costs,
They need to perform.
they need to perform. Because the sad thing is that this thing didn't happen. It didn't happen on a gradual note. It was like an all of a sudden thing. They started blowing money, spending players on,
But Mayo and Abidal.
yes, on the Griezmanns, the Coutinho, crazy amount of wages, and all of a sudden, in a snap of a finger, they had to change the plan because they were going broke. So it's I really feel sorry for Laporta because I think that
he inherited a mess.
Look, a complete mess. But you have to make it make sense, and you have to compete even whilst you are trying to fix it. So I'm not one of those who's going too hard on Barca on this transfer window because, like, let's face reality. It's not about fandom. It's not about emotions here. They can't afford some of these deals.
Yeah.
If they push themselves, in the long run, it's going to affect them. So they need to be smart about it. I see Barcelona fans going at Deco. Oh, guy, you don't have money. I'm talking to him. You don't have money. Stop. Stop that in Jai. Don't do that. You don't have money. And you see, it's not about when you...
The money he's talking, the money is not in Deco's pocket.
It's not in
If it's
Deco's
there,
pocket.
we'll go and take it.
Look, and
Some of the deals, Deco doesn't even have to work. The Nico deal. If they have the money to go and
Don't pay.
at the
Don't pay.
La
That's
Liga
what
head
I'm
office,
Oh, yeah,
they
don't
are
get
money.
money.
Listen.
you don't get money.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you see, and the sad thing too is that they don't have the players as at now who are marketable enough to sell,
Yeah.
and it won't
And
affect
recruit,
them.
yeah.
It won't affect them, not necessarily in terms of. I'm not talking about monetary value. I'm talking
Like,
about
on the field.
on the field.
Yeah.
If Barca sell Lamine today, they are in trouble.
Yeah.
If they sell Pedri today, they are in trouble. So the squad of players they have,
And they will
need.
make match for Man City.
Thank you. The squad of players they have, they desperately need them. Because see, if this was Barcelona, 2 years ago, Lewandowski left. Like, I don't know what he's still doing there. But they can't let him go because they can't replace him. So Barca find themselves in a very difficult position. And I'm not going to go too hard on them because I understand that it is about a financial matter.
You see, that is why.
Okay, coach.
Just,
Okay, yeah. And then you go on with the point. I was going to ask you about when you check that one now.
that is why I completely disagree with them when they decided to sack Xavi. You see, when you admit your
Xavi?
problem, yes, when you admit, that is when you can work towards
But-
solving the problem.
So Xavi kept telling everybody they were broke. They couldn't compete.
No, but they
And
were
I-
broke.
and after this, no.
Boy,
So there's the posture and there's the reality.
Yeah.
The posture for you see, and when you go on social media, the Barca fans on social media, they believe Laporta and Deco and everybody that they are not broke. They can even sign the Mbappe Real Madrid have signed. Xavi was telling them that, look, we don't have the financial muscles now to compete. And so what Deco was saying, what Xavi was saying was different from what the board was saying.
Yeah.
And the two of them were not on the same page, so one had to go.
And we saw that the board, they were lying.
But the fans think they are speaking the truth.
Then they
Otherwise,
should- you
they won't be
see, no,
demanding
coach,
for
That's,
Nico.
that's why I made the point that you can't take that push. Barcelona themselves, as
Yes,
a board,
as a
you
club,
can't
you can't
take
take the
the posture that we are just going to
Yeah,
relax
hand it over
and
to Real Madrid
because
before
you
you can
need
go.
the performances to make the
See,
money.
that is stupidity. That is high degree stupidity.
But you didn't have
I'm coming.
decent enough players to. Okay,
I'm coming.
you make your
High
point,
level
please.
stupidity. Look, in life, maybe the way some of us see it's like, it's a bit different. No? You see, when the thing is A, there's no need to beat about the bush that is A. It is A. The money is not there. Oh, no more.
They say the money D.
If they had money,
So spend it.
they will trigger Nico Williams quick. They will buy Omo. So at the end of the day, they could have even gone to Mbappe. They could have gone for Mbappe.
Yeah.
If the money was
If the money was there. How can you sit down and allow your direct competitor strengthen his team
uncontested.
uncontested? Are you serious?
Past 2 seasons.
So Xavi, are you saying Laporta is more Catalan than Xavi? Or Deco? Or no Deco, no Fee from Portugal. He loves Barcelona more than Xavi Hernandez.
But when Laporta was started paying
Pay
dues,
Ashok. Where was Xavi?
Laporta,
When Xavi
let me tell you. Let me tell you, if you
Because
put,
if you play-
let
if
me
you
tell
play
you,
about
if you
something
gonna
else-
put Xavi there and Laporta there,
They will
and
vote for
ask
Xavi.
the Catalan people to vote.
vote.
Who is more Barcelona? They will vote for Xavi.
They'll vote for Laporta.
It's not that simple.
They'll vote
It's
for
that straight. Who would you vote for?
wait, do you know what it takes to become a Barcelona president?
Do you know what it takes to
You
play
have
for
to be
Barcelona?
a socio for over 20 years.
Ashok.
Listen,
You have to be
Easy.
a socio in
Easy.
Gustavo for over 20 years.
you see,
You have to be paying your dues and some things.
I say the guy
has done all of that. He's gonna come.
The guy was going to sack Xavi. He said, "Come." When he sack him, that one has made him unpopular. Then
Xavi, you know what Xavi? What no happened? They come to sack him. Xavi said, "No, me, I'm going." They said, "Oh, Xavi, no,
come."
They brought him back and they sacked him.
No, he told them. Not that they brought him back. He told them the hard truth. What they didn't want to hear,
but they know the truth.
And they don't want to accept it.
It's not about accepting
That is stupidity.
But we can see that
It's a posture.
It's a stupid posture.
No, it's a posture.
Stupid posture.
They said that the CD
they will
is
suffer.
perception.
I mean, they said the CD is
They said the CD is
Let me
perception.
tell
So if you
you.
talk down on the CD,
CD,
thank you. So if you talk down on Barca, you go affect. Yeah.
Let me tell you that. You see, the fact of the matter is, if it is A, it is A.
I know.
This Barcelona team, look, Real Madrid will win this league with cheeky ease.
Cheeky ease.
Cheeky ease.
Cheeky ease.
And it's going to take some form of pride from the Spanish La Liga. Man City have been winning the EPL. At least we see the competitive nature of that league. Barcelona needs to bring in players. They don't have the money to bring in the players. So we should not even be talking about them.
But coach, so on that point, look, amidst Danny mentioned in the last 3-4 years, they've not necessarily been able to sign the players that they would really want. But when you look across the team, right, they've got Ter Stegen, who's for me is still one of the best goalkeepers in
You
Europe.
couldn't dislodge Manuel Neuer for this
Who
use.
is, in my opinion, the best goalkeeper? Manuel Neuer is the best goalkeeper in Europe, in my opinion, for a long time.
Then they played the shot, then he gave it back to the people to score them.
But Ter Stegen has made a couple of, but still on the point. They have,
The team pay you.
They have Ronaldo Araujo. They have Ronaldo. I remember he finished with that game.
No, but it was that what? He gave that cup to Real Madrid.
Look, Araujo is one of the top centre backs.
He's gone to do his knee.
I'm just looking at the entirety of the squad. They've got Jose Koundé, who can play as centre back, who's a
Top guy.
decent, very, very talented.
They all want to leave.
Many teams would have wanted him there.
Yeah.
You've got Paul Kubasi, who's coming up, he's brilliant. Andres Christensen, he is a good centre back. It's a good option to have. In midfield, coach, you've got Gavi, you've got Pedro, you've got Ike Gundogan.
Frankie de Jong.
You've got Frankie de Jong as well. Then in the attack, you've got Ferran Torres, you've got
Toothless.
you've got Rafinha,
Toothless.
you've got Lamine Yamal,
Ansu Fati. Proper player.
You've got Ansu Fati, maybe
He
Romelu
was good. They
Lewandowski.
won't low him to Brighton.
Look, I know Barca squad do not put fear in anybody, but they still got something to work with.
Is it-
They still got something to work with.
Yes, but that thing is not good enough to challenge. Even Burnley have players to work with. What are you talking about? No, I say,
Come.
no, make my point. No, what you said?
The guy is shocking you. The
Players to work with.
players you mentioned, the players you mentioned,
Who are they better
there
than?
are issues. You look at Kabasi, probably Partey Martinez. Christensen now, as at the latter part of last season, was used as a DM.
Yes.
That tells you that.
Because of injuries, but if
No,
the
but
players are
injuries
available-
and then quality as well. They need to sign a DM. They need, because if for nothing at all, and
They went and they brought this Southampton, Barcelona.
Romeo.
Where is he?
yes,
He's still there.
he will leave.
Busquets
But
leaves.
I think he's leaving for free.
Busquets
leaving
leaves,
at
and
the
you
end of
cannot
his contract.
replace
And
Busquets.
then you bring in
What?
But then again, you look at left back. Now, Gonzalo
It's gone.
is gone. They need to sort that
But
aspect.
Balde is coming.
Oh, he's coming from a very terrible injury.
For
Yeah,
Barca,
that's right.
I think that they've put themselves in this situation. The reason why they are not getting their target is money. And trust me, normally Barcelona get their players from the Spanish league. And in the Spanish league, most of the contracts, you need to go straight and
To the
buy
FA.
out the player's contract. Talk to the player, I'm interested. Go and buy out my buyout clause. And then you are good to go. But because they don't have the money, that is the reason why they are struggling. And that is the
So
reason.
the whole season they are going to buy only one player.
Because they don't have the money.
I think they'll work something out.
You understand?
I think they still have some time.
You
to
see,
work something.
With who?
You see,
I don't know, but
See,
I still think Barca is Barca.
See, Chicho,
There are many players who still want to play for the club.
We all know the genesis of the issue. They messed up the Neymar money. But they also have to try and then find a solution.
And they started overpaying Bayou, okay.
Yes, I agree. But I think that
How can
Their
you be
squad-
paying somebody more than 1 million euros a week? Are you mad?
How?
You are running a business and you are paying one person
And
more
that
than
was
1 million.
anointing. They still wanted him back.
They didn't want him back.
All him money.
They didn't want him back. He wanted to come back. They didn't want
It
him
was
back.
it was a ploy to make the fans feel like,
like, there's money.
I know. So
Look,
But
let me tell you
see,
something.
they need to fix the
If they
financial
had
issues.
run the crop properly,
yeah.
paying Lionel Messi 1 million was peanut.
You see,
It's not
No,
peanuts.
it's not peanuts.
It's
Oh,
not
my
peanuts.
son.
It's not
It's not
sustainable.
peanuts.
It's not sustainable.
It's not
Chicho.
sustainable for any club.
Chicho.
Now,
Any
Football,
club.
yeah.
Those who are
I
pumping
look,
oil
I
money,
look,
they
I
don't
look
pay
at this
anybody.
Barca team. If you are losing Joao Felix, if you are losing Gonzalo, if you are how do you call it, playing Christensen in midfield,
Robert Lewandowski.
can
Look at it. Robert Lewandowski.
will give you the
He's
goals.
dusky. He's
No, but
sleeping.
coach,
He started sleeping
coach,
on the job.
coach.
Can't you see?
Coach, Lewandowski will give you the
What does
goals.
Dosky mean?
Sleeping on the job.
Coach, Lewandowski will give you goals.
When?
No, I'm saying you get some goals from
His
him,
goals are done.
but you can't solely
That
rely
man, he
on
can't
him.
run.
Oh, the
And
guy
if you
is
look at
gone.
what these players brings to Barca, it will be very, very difficult that they are going to do away. Because trust me, if you look at Joao Felix, you don't even need to convince him. The guy wants to play. For
That's
you.
his dream team.
You understand, but you don't have the money.
Did he really perform during his
No,
lows?
Oh,
no,
no
no, no,
more.
no. But Basicho, he's somebody that can help.
He's a good
He's
squad
somebody that
player.
can help. And that's
He's a
the
good
reason
squad
why
player. You don't pay that
understand?
amount of money
That's
for a
what
squad
I'm
player.
gonna
So
say.
yeah, let's
understand?
go.
And that is the reason why I look at their financial situation. I look at their squad with the players that they brought on loan. I'll be surprised to see Barca finishing in the top 4.
Hey,
Look at, yes,
but who will compete? Spain?
no,
Who
but
did it?
see, we look at what Getafe.
Look, last season, Sef, they
Girona
struggled.
did.
They still finished
No, I understand.
comfortably
But
in
you
the
see,
top 4.
Now they'll be doing away with some of the players they couldn't have retained because they don't have the money to pay for the transfer fee.
No, you see, it's one thing Barca not being able to compete with Real Madrid.
Barca standard.
But
Yeah,
who is going to rise up? Who?
Atletico Madrid. Girona have already sold. Dovbek.
Savinho is gone.
But they seems to have a plan. Especially when you
Girona.
are, no, when you're working,
repeat what we did in
no,
last season.
I'm not saying, but they won't just fall off easily like that.
They possibly can.
And trust
It's
me,
very possible.
they being part of that City group means that they can still get talent to fill in those that are leaving. Trust me.
Well,
I
yeah,
think
that's
Barca
a good
fall
point.
short.
They've got some.
Atletico, they might not win the title.
But Gallagher, I think they're going to fire.
Quick.
Quick.
Corner.
It fits the system.
If you understand, it fits the mentality, the energy,
The best
the
transfer.
everything.
It
Like,
fits the system.
it's like they build the player for
understand?
Atletico.
So
The
Sicho,
Diego
Sicho.
Simeone
Yeah.
headless chicken who will run all the
So I honestly believe if Barca is even going to finish in the top 4, they won't finish second, they won't finish third. If they get into the top 4, they'll struggle to make
Wait,
it.
okay. So we've spoken about everything about the squad. Can Hansi Flick make a difference with all the deficiencies, with all the problems? Can he be the one who
But Sicho, you need materials.
Hansi Flick is a better coach than Xavi.
Agree.
Xavi won the league with the Barca players that the Barca squad that had the same problems. Managed to finish in a respectable position from last season. There's now Hansi Flick. Can he be the difference? All the teams spoken about the players. Can Hansi Flick be the difference?
Sicho, I honestly don't.
You
I
remember
don't.
when we did the program, I told you that man, he's not a smart man.
Who?
Hansi
Flick.
Flick. Yeah.
He shouldn't have gone in for this job. But he's decided to go in for the job. Now, the expectation will not drop.
Now and they never.
Let him
It is
lose.
Barca.
Look, if he lose 2 games,
They'll come
It's
for
on
him.
fire.
you see what will happen. And he's shown that when things don't go well for him, he doesn't know how to respond. As a coach, when he took over that Bayern Munich team, he virtually cruised. He cruised through every competition
Because
he
the
played.
materials.
Because
were
he had
there.
the material
Yes.
to do it.
But Barca.
When they
he
gave
coached-
him the German
and he
national team,
coached them
I'm
well
coming.
because, yeah.
I mean, when the material was there could be coach. When they gave him the German national team undergoing proper transition, he couldn't do anything meaningful. Eventually, they sacked him.
Quick.
Now he's gone to take over a team
that is
that is
transition.
themselves struggling.
That's in a similar position as the German team.
Exactly. Depending on young boys with one old man at the front, young boys to come to his rescue. Young
With an
boys who
unbalanced
are
defense.
to be managed and carefully introduced into the setup. He's going to rely on them. So like I've said, no, he wasn't smart in accepting that job. Look, it would take a miracle to get Hansi Flick to turn this Barcelona fortunes around.
Coach hasn't
We
given
know
the
we
Barca
know the
fans any
standard.
hope
We
whatsoever.
know we know this is a team that should be going to every season believing they can win the league. Every season they go in there knowing that they are possible potential league champions. So if you are going in there and you yourself, you are not sure of the material you are going to work with, how consistent they will be.
Now let's talk about the team that perhaps everybody's thinking that they are the reason why Barca wants to win the league.
Ababola.
Hala Madrid.
Ah.
Florentino Perez. He's running the transfer market in real life football, like he's playing FIFA career mode.
I tell you.
It's incredible. Like when you look at the team that he's assembled, but his assembly also comes with a problem. Can Carlo Ancelotti solve it now? Last season, we saw Bellingham being used in a position that nobody really has seen him being used before, and it was effective. And that is why Southgate perhaps thought that he could do some. So Southgate at the Qatar World Cup played Bellingham as a number 8. Because Carlo used him as a first line, sometimes number 10. He said, nah, go and play. He flopped.
Lack of smartness.
So, and then he also found a way of convincing Vinicius Jr. to leave the lines and play almost like a number 9. Brazil went to try it. He flopped. They brought him back to the wings. He played well. He died. They sent him out for something.
But then you've answered the question.
No, so I'm saying. But he managed to find the balance to all the problems that many thought were there. They won the Champions League, won the league. But in comes Kylian Mbappe, right? Then he has to also, as for Madrid, you're not going to ask whether they have a good team or it's that all of that is nonsense to ask. The real question then is, how is Carlo going to introduce Mbappe to the team that looked settled from last season?
Sujo, see, I think the question we should be asking is, what is Mbappe bringing to the Madrid team? Because one, you are coming to a team that are already champions. Even if Madrid did not get Mbappe, they will still compete. They will still go and win the league. And if you look at where Mbappe is coming from, at PSG, he was more like a mini god they worship. At Madrid, you are not bigger than the club. So one, Mbappe has to worry and say, Charlie, I'm coming into a dressing room full of champions. These guys have been winning and winning. I need to come in and then tell them that I'm also useful to the squad and this is what I'm bringing. For Carlo, I think that if you want a manager that can manage the kind of dressing room that Madrid has now, he has to be Carlo Ancelotti. They are big stars. Mbappe is also coming with this big tag.
But not bigger than the Don.
Oh, yes, that is the thing. So the kind of manager who can manage this particular Madrid squad, they have it already. As to, I don't know if you would want to stay in a couple of years to come because a certain national team in South America wants him. And can you look at the deals that they are signing with these stars? They are in for a very long term. So I would rather want you to pose the question, what would Mbappe bring? Because as for Carlo, if he tells Mbappe, you know what, today you are playing up front. I'm not playing you on the wings. Mbappe has to just keep quiet and adjust. Or maybe, you know what, today the two of you and Vini, you are playing as my 2 target man. You have to. Or you are playing behind the shoulders of Vini. So Ancelotti won't have a problem at all. I think that this Madrid team is set. The only place I think they need to work out and find extra bodies has to be in central defense. Because I think they have a weakness. Then Nacho is gone now. You can't rely on Militao, Rudiger, and then
Alaba is back.
Yes.
And they promoted a young man.
Yes.
At least Vallejo.
Yeah.
Yes, at least you need 5 central defenders. Especially when you'll be competing in the La Liga, the Champions League, which they know very well that they can still go there and do their wonders. As for the La Liga, I think that what Carlo will be doing is, they'll tell them, we have the best squad in La Liga. But it doesn't mean we should also underrate the other teams in La Liga. And then we also shouldn't forget that apart from the Copa del Rey and all that, they will also be competing in the bigger World Club Championship.
At the end of the season.
Yes, at the end of the season as well. So, because if you are playing a lot of games, come the end of the season, some of the players injuries might come in and all that. So you need a squad that is good, that can take you through to the end of the season and go and compete in the World Club Championship. So I think that area they really need to. Now there's no Toni Kroos as well. I don't think they'll just say, you know what, we are okay with what we have. But they can do without because they have Tchouameni, they have Camavinga, good to go. They don't have a problem with that. They can step in. But I'm sure that they will also want to bring in a player who would be coming in for Luka Modric, who has signed a 1-year extension. I doubt if he will be there.
He will not be a starter.
No, he won't be a starter.
Even last season he wasn't playing.
He won't be a starter, but you also want to bring in somebody who can be part of the Madrid family and then get to know the system. And I think that another issue they need to work out has to be left back. I don't think Mendy is injury record. I think that they need to sort their left back. I was hoping that they get Alaba, who I doubt it.
Alphonso
Davies, sorry. Yeah. Alphonso Davies from Bayern. I don't think that he would want to stay.
Probably going to happen next season for free again.
But so you see, sometimes you also need to be financially wise in the transfer window. And that is what Perez has done quite well. Because who gets Mbappe for free? Who?
PSG give Mbappe for free.
That's what I'm saying.
Madrid were willing to pay 200 million euros.
So it means that he has the time to wait for players that can come for
But it's not free.
No, it's not free. But imagine
it's like PSG won't get anything, but it's not free.
Yes, but imagine you are paying such an amount to PSG.
And there's no way
as well.
There's no way he's going to give Mbappe 200 million as a signing on fee. No.
That's what I'm saying.
But I would have gone to PSG. Then
the wages also will come in. So I think that Madrid have been very smart in the transfer window.
Yeah.
With or without Mbappe, they will still be competing.
Right.
They will defend the title. But Mbappe brings them a lot, not just for the football, but the commercial, value.
Man, his unveiling was wicked.
Yes.
His unveiling was.
And look at it. They sold about 1 million.
He was copying his legend, but that's fine.
And just last week, they are the first club to hit $1 billion, dollar revenue in Europe. So
incredible.
Sometimes you need to be very smart in that. But I think that Madrid, as for the champions, I don't want to predict for them. But I think when it comes to the La Liga,
way
they are the champions.
Because let me come to you on Real Madrid and let's look at the team tactically. Like I said, from last season, we knew how they would play. Toni Kroos will start alongside Fede Valverde, and when Tchouameni was fit, Tchouameni or otherwise Camavinga. And then Jude Bellingham will play in front of Rodrigo Vinicius or behind Rodrigo Vinicius. There's no Toni Kroos now. The rumors are that Carlo is planning to drop Bellingham into midfield.
That is obvious.
So it could be Tchouameni, Valverde, Bellingham, and then there could be Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo.
Yeah, actually.
Does that work?
Yeah, it works. It works perfectly. We all knew that, yes, Bellingham was using the role that he himself has never been used in.
Yeah. I thought he himself was surprised about
He himself was very surprised, and it was that successful. Do you think he's going to repeat that same level of success?
No, I doubt. So. Yeah, I don't think so.
So quickly revert to your natural role and ability. Once there's a specialist who's come in now, allow them to flourish. And I think I listened to Carlo Ancelotti when I think it was Obi Mikel who asked him the question.
Yeah.
When he said, how are you going to use this guy? And is he going to strike? Is Mbappe going to say, look, it's about mobility.
Yeah.
It's about how mobile he thinks his front men are. Rodrigo. I've always said that boy, most people are saying that the coming in of me, I said, look, Real Madrid will be so unwise if they were to let go of that young man because he's one of the most effective and efficient attackers they've got. Mm-hmm. So you don't get rid of him because Mbappe is coming.
Yeah.
In Rodrigo, in Vini, in Mbappe, they have, if these guys can allow themselves to be used by Carlo, I'm looking at something very similar to the Messi, Suarez, Neymar combination. They are very capable of breaking the record of that. If and only if Vinicius will be a more clinical up front.
Right.
In Messi, Suarez, and Neymar, they were all very clinical up front. So they could score more than 100 goals as a pair in a season. But in terms of the potential of these three guys up there, nobody doubts that. And tactically, as a manager, you look at it and say, come on, man, I'm spoiled for choice. So what he now needs to ask, I think the adjustment will come in midfield. Does he go with Camavinga, Valverde, and Bellingham?
We know Valverde and Bellingham will start for sure.
Yes.
I think it's between Tchouaméni and Camavinga.
And then Camavinga. I think that look, I'm so much in love with Camavinga in such a way that if he can be very well disciplined as a number 6, I will pick him ahead of Tchouaméni.
What's
all
his
day.
best midfield role though, Eduardo Camavinga? Is he a number 8 and number 6?
Look,
box to box. I feel he's more of that. And Tchouaméni is more or less the
he's the steady
number 6,
type, the calm type and all that. But is he?
A poor man's Pogba by That's
No, he doesn't come close to that.
That's what I say, a poor man's Pogba.
Okay, I understand.
He has a Pogba flex.
But
He has of.
But there's only one Pogba.
yes, of
Yeah,
course.
he has of.
So I think that is where Carlo will have to make the decision. We saw Carlo somewhere last season drop Tchouaméni into centre back when
he
they
had
needed
defensive
to.
problems,
So the combinations are there. But I'm very certain that Valverde, in my view, is the only untouchable midfielder in that team.
Right.
He's so good that you can't touch him. He brings something that none of them brings to the party. And I think from the season that Bellingham had, it makes him a starter. So it's up to the manager. But I think they will now more or less be looking at a 4-3-3 sort of system. And then, because if you've got Mbappe, Rodrigo, and then Vinny, the 3 guys in the middle know that all they need to do is to take charge of that object and make sure they pick the pass. And look at all the 3 guys are all runners.
Yeah.
They don't need the ball played to them at feet. Into space
They are there.
of the goal. And then when they go on the attack, what I really want to see them do is not to allow the 3 of them to do the job. One of the 3 midfielders
Should run in.
will have to go, and most likely that will be Bellingham.
Bellingham.
He will now have to add up to make
Bellingham
it
with Valverde right behind.
right
just in case
behind
the
in
ball
case.
passes, and then he will be
Then
fired.
so you see, so look at how comfortable we are all talking about.
Right.
That is what they have done. But for me, let me say this. I hate it when that smartness in acquiring players is being done to teams that need money. So may I sit here and condemn if you are taking the player like Mbappe for free because PSG were not wise, I support it.
Right.
But if you an attempt to take Euro
Hey, I knew it.
at a price, no, it must be condemned because look, somebody like Real Madrid, a team
you
like
can't blame
I'm
them.
coming. That's what I'm saying. That see, football is not supposed to be run only based on smartness. Look, what is the team that Euro comes from?
Leo.
Lille. They need the money. They need the money.
So much is going to do offer charity work to them.
No,
all.
it is not charity. You are buying or you are paying for a talent. They were ready
Yes. To wait for next
from that is what I am condemning. You
Why are
don't
you
do that.
condemning it?
You see,
So why don't you condemn Leo
No.
for also waiting for the player
No,
to have 1 year left?
Leo tried extending the player's contract. He said, well, it's okay, look, this is your true value. Remember, you don't walk in there and tell them what you give them.
That is their also.
And I'm saying that you and I need to condemn that.
Why?
Why? Because Real's financial backing should be such that they should be seeking to
To be doing charity.
make, not charity,
But what?
but they're free of charge. You don't price such a talent. Maybe you don't get it because you're a Real Madrid fan and you always support.
Yes, sir.
So he says he's a Man U fan. Now he's a Real Madrid fan.
So he's Spanish.
No, he supports Real Madrid. Can you look in the cameras? Can you look in the camera and tell that you don't support?
fan.
No.
They're calling me a Real Madrid fan.
No,
So
he's
Italy, where? Italy, where?
I used to support Manchester United. If you go to Spain, if you go to Spain,
Barcelona.
I'm a Barcelona. That is why you see when my team is misbehaving, I
I don't
don't.
say for a mesh guy.
No,
wait.
Zukui, I'm a, look,
I'm a bad focus.
So you're saying now I'm a Madrid fan?
no, you are. Are you denying that?
I'm not a Madrid fan.
Okay, Yati, let's move on.
All right.
Or train.
So
It's your king.
Or train. You see? so you see, I mean, the point I'm making is this. It may not seem, but look, the point I'm making is this. If a team like Lens, what's the team?
Leo.
Look at what they did to Camavinga. Look at what they did to Camavinga's team. They virtually banged, compelled them to sell at a
Gundogan
price.
for free.
You see?
You took Gundogan for free.
He's an old man.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Gundogan, the age. If you are buying such talent, somebody that you could bring in to serve you for a minimum of 10 years, you have to be fair in the price. So, the point I'm making is that they have a good team. They are likely to win the league. They are most likely to defend the Champions League because they know how to do that. They are the only team in the history of the competition to have gone back to back to back. Nobody have done that. In addition to that, when a team is in need, Real Madrid.
Please pay the money.
Yes, Ramo.
All right.
No, so it's so that they will also be able to
find their balance.
Find a balance. And then because look, if they are taking Euro for less than their month,
At least they can also improve their squad.
improve their
So that
squad.
if you see another player
you come
there,
and take more.
yeah, I
We're down there
totally
free.
agree.
Let me come to Danny. Danny, Real Madrid now are going into the season without one of the most irreplaceable midfielders, Toni Kroos, who gave Kylian a fantastic solution a lot of times when they played last season. We've spoken about how the midfield could change, but they're missing out on Toni Kroos. Is this something that teams who play against Real Madrid be thinking that, okay, now they don't have that player that...
The controller.
Charlie, everybody tired, no give him the ball.
Quick.
Everybody stressed, no, boss, I beg, handle him for me.
Quick.
He's not there anymore. How does Carlo Ancelotti mitigate that? Or will the new group of players that he have, will he find a solution from one of them?
Fact is, Real Madrid have been planning for this thing for the past about 5-6 years.
Right.
Real Madrid don't do their business like they are a very well-run football club, very well-run business. So they don't do their things like other teams.
Barca like that.
Yes, and Man United and some people, and Chelsea and co. They're a very well-run football club. In the past 2 years, it's not every game that Toni Kroos has played.
That's true.
And Real Madrid have thrived even without him. The structure changes a bit when he's not playing. They have players who they've brought in Camavinga 3 seasons ago. They brought in Tchouaméni 2 seasons ago. All for this purpose because they knew that Kroos and Modric at a point will leave. Last season, Modric was in the squad, but he was hardly needed in the... Even, when you say like the top games Real Madrid played last season, he was hardly needed because they have managed to move past him a bit. Obviously, Kroos is a top class player. You don't buy a replacement for Kroos. You change your style small. You can't replace Ronaldo. You change your style small. And Real Madrid managed to do that in the absence of Ronaldo. All of a sudden, Benzema started scoring goals we never knew he could score. So we know they have it in them. And you see, again, it's not just about fixing the team at the top with buying the right players. The person in charge has proven to us season after season after season after season in his career.
His job is his playground.
I don't even know why people are worried. The thing is, and I agree with Felix. We should structure the question around how. We as the ones challenging ourselves, not questioning Ancelotti. How do you think, or Danny, how do you think Real Madrid will line up?
Yeah.
Or how do you think they'll play? Because it's not a problem at all. It is not a problem. If you listen to what Ancelotti was saying throughout last season, especially in the early months of last season when Bellingham was given that free will up front, he was talking about the fact that he still leaves room for individualism in his team. Freedom.
Yeah.
And the players they have in this squad,
incredibly expressive.
Thank you.
Too much quality.
So he has given them a framework where they can feel free and enjoy. That's why when coach mentions the Messi, Neymar, Suarez example. It was basically the same thing I was thinking in my head. I've seen questions of Mbappe has ego, he's worked. Look, some of these things, these boys.
Yeah.
What did Mbappe say? He said Vinicius texted him and told him to come to Real Madrid.
Come, let's work.
Ronaldo, Benzema, Bale worked.
Yeah.
Messi, Neymar, Suarez, it worked. These were 3 players who wanted to be the best in the world.
There's some environment you're just happy to work. It's like when I'm driving here for the podcast, I'm so happy to sit around you guys and work.
Like,
to hell with what ego?
No.
Like you're having brilliant conversation with boys. Felix is here, Danny is here.
They're going to play ball with the boys.
Yeah.
And you see, in a very well-structured system, when you enter, the culture will catch you.
Yeah,
It's as simple
And
as
that Real Madrid culture is not about individuals. It has never been like that. When Raul
Unless
was
you're
there,
Ronaldo, but it's okay.
even Ronaldo, when it was time for him to go, he left,
quick.
and the team didn't
Without
collapse.
emotions.
Casillas, he cried, mama, he go. Raul, he go.
Everybody go.
Like, it is Real Madrid.
Sergio Ramos them all.
He go. You leave. Once your time is up, you go. So there's no emotions attached to.
Yeah.
You are entering a proper structure, a proper culture.
They're unveiling
And
alone.
for Mbappe, look, this is the most humble I've ever seen Mbappe. The speech, his
Oh, but let him
manner-
fall in top.
It fall in top. Look,
You
when
know,
you
see some
enter some
before. You know, see
places,
falling top.
if you enter some places, it's not about who
But
you are.
you know win Champions League before.
Then
They
they
bring
enter-
you, they carry the trophy.
they see
to-
16,
you say,
You know win
It
Champions
will
League.
be 15. Apollo 15, you know, be 16.
So maybe
But the
16.
16 is
Maybe
coming.
go-
If I say if you Real Madrid fan, you didn't-
I made a mistake.
it was deliberate. What are you talking about? It was deliberate. It was deliberate.
No, but you see, that's why for me, I'm so excited about the Real Madrid project next season because you know I'm a big Mbappe fan. Me, I'm not hiding. You say he's a Real Madrid fan, he's hiding. You say you are not a Man U fan. No, he says he's a not a Man U fan. He's hiding.
He's a former United.
For me,
fan.
I've
I'm a
stopped
big
on
Vini fan.
condition.
Thank
I
you.
was
For
conceding.
me,
I'm a big Vini
For
fan.
me, I'm a
I
big
told you
Mbappe
Vini has
fan.
to win the Ballon d'Or.
Oh
I
yeah,
told you.
quick. For me, I'm a big
Rodri will
Mbappe
win
fan,
it.
and I'm happy that he's entering this environment because you see, for a talent like that, sometimes you need that seal of approval. The jersey you wear
If you're a
matters,
Ronaldo fan,
and once you
and
enter,
somebody
The
idols
French
Ronaldo,
Liga, the people know the
why would
watch.
you be his fan?
oh no, that's what is. I'm not a fan of Garnacho, but they like the goods. Me, I'm not.
And that's what I'm saying. So we are
Yes.
saying the same thing.
No. You say if I'm a fan of Ronaldo and somebody idolizes it, why wouldn't I like? And I'm saying Garnacho idolizes Ronaldo. Garnacho,
But
my
it's
fan
not
of
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
I don't do it.
Point is, Mbappe is a big boss, but I don't think he has the PSG jersey with no day inside. Yeah, a light. So the Madrid he's coming to, I think it will give him. It's what he's been
It should
missing
take
on
him to
his
another
CB.
step.
It will take him to a different level. I'm not worried at all. Well, as for Carlo, I'm not worried at all. I don't care. I'm not even
Coach them simple.
simple. It's not an
we
issue.
are speaking about Mbappe, Vini, but look, Real Madrid have still got. Ada Gula has proven to be. He had a terrible injury when he came.
He's a good
But
player.
when he became fit, we saw the quality. We saw him at the Euros. was
Panta and
brilliant.
Pele.
We've seen Hendrick as well.
Panta and Pele.
Hendrick has come through the door. Brahim Diaz had an incredible cameo.
That's a
role.
good player. That boy is
very,
a good
very
player.
good player.
Really
He's still
good.
available
Impacts
for
up.
them. There's Danny Ceballos who still stays. You know, so
That guy, he should leave.
And go away.
sometimes when you're in some environments, and you're comfortable.
You see, for Ceballos, there are players who are just. He thought he was. You know, he came with this guy, Asensio them.
yeah, he
and
was
that's
the squad. The
You see, there are some players in life. Some people are just meant to follow.
yeah,
That's how I see it. Ceballos is a good squad player.
yeah, it's a great squad player.
When he went to Arsenal, it looked like he would be the one to be able to. But over time, like in level now that make it just
flashes.
day. He should
And
just
those flashes when you have
Thank you.
him for 15 minutes and you see like 4 minutes of those flashes. Like,
hey, the player.
but put it for 90 minutes.
You know,
You
far.
see the 4 minutes flash and
Thank
you see
you.
that's no some way.
So he just
But
forget.
yeah. So I think that's a seal of approval from all of you from Real Madrid. They are going to be favorites for La Liga. Very much favorites for Champions League as well, alongside Manchester City because look, City and Pep Guardiola are also there. But question marks about if Carlo can coach them, there are no question marks about that at all. But let me know what you think about Real Madrid squad going into the season. Defensively, I think Felix mentioned it, that maybe they might have to add one or two.
Maybe a goalkeeper. That's if
Lunin
Andre,
is going to leave.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
since,
Kepa, Chelsea.
as for Kepa, he's back at Chelsea, so no yawa. So guys, drop your thoughts on the teams we discussed so far. We've looked at Arsenal, we've talked about Barca, we've spoken about Real Madrid, and then let's have that conversation about what you think the Real Madrid team is going to look like going into next season. How Barca are going to get around what looks like their financial problems, and of course, if Arsenal have done enough to be this time favorites or even get beyond Man City and win the Premier League. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you, Coach.
Always a
Thank you,
pleasure.
Danny K. Thank you, Felix. And thank you for doing the watch. And remember to like, to subscribe, to put on the notification bell so that
Bing, bing, bing.
bing, 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 you can
And share your comment as well.
and drop a comment. Feel free to disagree with anything that we say on the Mallam Go podcast. It's the Mallam Go podcast. Thank you for always being a part of it. Bye-bye.